Thomas Jefferson is said to have said that eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. I say he's said to have said it because there's no direct evidence that he did. It's just some kind of secondhand testimony. But whether he said it or not, it's a great thought, a great quotation. And that's what I want to talk about today. Howdy. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. I want to welcome everybody. I want to welcome all the new people, both on YouTube and on Patreon. Before I talk about the cost of freedom, a couple of things that I want to bring up. First off, I often claim to have the smartest commenters in YouTube land, and it was proved again the other day after I put up that one entitled "I Lost It All." I know that some people thought it was something truly horrendous. It was a kick in the gut for a writer, and it was because I had lost all the files. I won't go through all that. If you want to hear about it, go back and watch the other one. Lost all the files to my current book and all the other books. Thank you for all of your concern and your help, and well, I'll leave that aside. The good news, a couple of good things, and kind of an announcement for all the stonemonters, is that I have, because of the way that and I'll tell you what stonemonters are in a minute for those of you who said, what? The way that I write my books, I don't type, so I type it with one finger on the note program of my phone, this phone right here. And I type it, and then I email that from a Gmail account associated with this phone, and it goes to another email account, my personal email account, and then from that I copy it and I paste it into the Notepad program, because by the time it's got there, the formatting is all screwed up. It won't go into Word the way I want it to, and so I take it into a Notepad, and that removes all of the formatting, and then I copy it, and then I paste that into the Word program and reformat it when I get there. Well, it's a task, right? And when you've written 5 books like that, I don't mind it. It's just the way that I do it. But losing all that was a kick in the gut, as you can imagine. As anybody who's ever lost a bunch of stuff on a computer. Well, you all had such great advice. I really appreciate it. I am able, I went back, I haven't found the file, but, or the files of any of the books, but I'm sure that I will. But even if I don't, I have backups on backups because of all those different emails. And I just started redoing the 5th book, The Blessings of Freedom, this morning. So I'm going to get that caught up. So that's the good news. I've been late on this 5th book anyway, so it's just going to be a little bit later, but I'll probably just do it as a part of my normal editing process. Okay, now for those of you, and then there's another major announcement for stonemonters, because every now and then I'll get emails or I'll get comments that says, I didn't know you wrote those books. Yes, I did. And we're going to talk about the cost of freedom, which is the name for my 6th book coming out, but there's more. Okay, so for those of you who didn't know, I wrote the Stonemont series. The first is the reversion. I'll tell you about this in a little bit. It's about freedom, but it's freedom after we've had to take everything back to the beginning, essentially. Okay, it's about I won't tell you whether it's an EMP or a CMA. Anyway, everything gets knocked back. We're back into a world without law, Teotwaki, a major SHTF, no electricity. Everything's been taken back. We see the 90% die-off that most people expect. Anyway, it starts with the reversion. The second book is, I can't read backwards, the revival. Okay, and the third book is the renewal. And the 4th book was an appeal to heaven, and the one coming out soon is the blessings of freedom. And it's about freedom. It's about the way that I think society ought to be if we had the chance to put it back together again. And it's about the traditional values, traditional ways. I get a lot of, or I did when I first came out with the books, I got a lot of attacks that I'm a traditionalist and I'm I talk about religion and Christianity and things like that, and I I immediately put people in their traditional gender roles and such. And guess what? Yes, I do. I do, because that's how it works the best. Sorry if that offends anybody, but no, I'm not. Okay, a word there before I go to, we're getting into the cost of freedom, is that I have just been snowed under. There has usually been a place that you can, and these are available on Amazon, and you can order them through any bookstore anywhere. But I have recently just been inundated with a number of things. There has always been a way for people to order autographed books directly from me. But I've been having some issues lately. First off, we had some delivery issues, supply chain, maybe. I don't know. Somebody's calling me. Who's that? Okay, I'll get back to you, brother. And then some came in damaged. Anyway, I'm going to have to kind of suspend that ordering from me directly, simply because I haven't been able to keep up with it. And while I'm doing some other things here for about a month, going to kind of have to suspend that. If you want the books, you can get them quickly through Amazon. Now, if you don't care if it takes a while, you can. There's always a link down here that you can send me. It shows you how to order it, but you'll have to be patient, because it's just, you'll get it from me, but you might not get it from me. You definitely won't get it from me as soon as you get it from Amazon. So if you want to read it quick, you can get it on Kindle. If you want a hard copy, you can get it through Amazon. And if you want a signed copy, you can get it through me, but you're going to learn patience doing that. Okay. The cost of freedom. Actually, I forgot something else. I'm sorry. A major project that I'm starting while I'm doing all this other stuff. And I probably should put this in a separate video. I don't know. So yes, I will. Okay. Otherwise, this will just go on and on. For you stone mounters, those of you who have read the Stone Mount series, have found it to be a world that you like and consider yourself a stone mounter, I have a major announcement about that. And I'll be making another short video about that after I finish this. Anyway, The Cost of Freedom is the title of my 6th book, which will begin the New America series. I'll start on that here in a few. Actually, I've already started on them. As I make little outlines and thoughts and things like that, and then it just kind of fills itself in as we go along. But it makes me think about what exactly is the cost of freedom. Is it eternal vigilance? Yes, it is eternal vigilance, but it's not just vigilance. Vigilance, implies just watching and being ready. It's a matter of, and perhaps resisting. Okay, you can say that, you can claim that, well, I include resisting into vigilance. Okay, and I'll say I accept that, if that's your definition. But there's more to that. And the more is not just resisting attacks on your freedom or your liberty, but actively supporting those who are working for freedom and for liberty, and actively working against the powers that are trying to take the freedom, the liberties from you. And I think that far too many people stop at the point to where, okay, I'm not going to do that. Whatever it is, we all know a lot of things we're not going to do, right? Okay, I'm not going to do that. This is my line in the sand. This is my this. This is my that. Okay, fine and dandy. All well and good. But what does that accomplish? Okay, I do that too. Okay, but that's just saying I'm not going to go along. That's not enough. And there will be people that say, well, that's just me. I'm just going to do it. Okay, well, that's just you. You're just going to do that. You're not adding. You're not contributing to the real fight that we're in. You have to do more than that. We all have to do more than that. Patriot Nurse, who, has got a great channel. I don't watch her a lot, but, I watch her, and I have watched her for years on certain things. And she puts out, of course, excellent content. on her stuff. And she put out a great one. I'll put the link to it down here. And that is the cost of, I forget what she said. It was about the difficulties that creators deal with in trying to express ourselves, on YouTube and other platforms. And she goes into why, does a good job of it, why the other platforms aren't a viable option. They're just not. People will say, well, go to this one, go to that one. If you're on YouTube, you're just supporting the monster and all that. Well, the others are simply not viable options. And she explains that quite well. You don't get the reach. But she made this one today, and like I said, I'll put the link down there, explaining how important it is for people to support the creators that they watch and agree with. And I will echo that, because that is something that you can do that's active. Okay, you can leave comments, you can leave, give them a thumbs up. I'm sorry that they took away that thumbs down, because I know there was 2 people that just hated me and loved to probably set their alarm so that they could give me a thumbs down, and I miss seeing their thumbs down. But give them a thumbs up and share them. If you see a video that you like by one of the people that you follow, share that. Send it to other people, please. And I'm not just me. I mean, there's some out there, and I'll say their names right now, because I'm not shy about that, because this is how we should be supporting each other and our cause. And this is one of the costs of freedom, is putting in the work. You have to put in the work. You have to do the things that matter. Sometimes that's something big, but most times it's just a collection of a whole lot of little things. So if you're watching a video and you like it, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. Spread it to your friends. Send it around to your friends. And then if they have a Patreon channel, support that Patreon channel. It only costs you $1. But these are people that are out here, putting out content. They're putting their time into this. Now, this isn't, and for some of these, this is how they make their living, right? It's how they make their living. So support people in making their living. We all talk about how we want to support local stores, buy local, support the little man. But I see a lot of people out there with Patreon channels. They don't have very much support. And I know they have a lot of YouTube subscribers. Well, if you're all about supporting people, why can't you support people that you watch who are putting out content that you enjoy and get something from? Why can't you support them with $1 a month? And the ones that I'm talking about, and if you'd like to do it with me, sure, you bet, I'll take it. But I mean, I write books, right? That's my main gig, and I do other things. I have other things, but yeah, you bet. I would love for you to support me. But here's the thing: there are others out there that you're going to get a lot from. Let me tick off the ones that I particularly. I just found out, for instance, recently that Corsair Trainers, Steve out in California, Corsair Trainers had a Patreon channel. I didn't know he had a Patreon channel. As soon as I found out, I pledged $1. I am a patron of his. It only cost me $1 a month, and he puts out great content. If you like Steve, subscribe to his Patreon channel. If you watch, or you ought to check out Real World Prepper, subscribe to his Patreon channel. Zombie Farmer, subscribe to his Patreon channel. Guns Coast to Coast, subscribe to his. I don't know if he has a Patreon channel. I don't think that he does, but if he did, you should. But if you watch his stuff, you ought to give it a thumbs up. You ought to spread it around to people. You ought to leave a comment. All of this helps. This is supporting people who actually are in the fight and trying to promote freedom and liberty. Okay, and Viking Preparedness, Joe Fox over on Viking Preparedness. I'm sure there are Patriot Nurse. There are others out there. Now, what I'm going to ask you not to do is please don't put other suggestions down here. You might put some down with which I agree. You might put things down, a link or a suggestion with which I disagree. And some of those might surprise you, in which case I would delete it. And I don't want to do that. That's not my purpose here. But my purpose is to say that we have a lot of people talking the game. Okay, and there's always more talkers than doers. Talking about freedom, about liberty, we got to stand up, and they act as if they would really be there, at the barricades when only if this final line is finally reached. And I don't think so. Most of the talkers are never there when the chips are down. But we have all these people watching these channels, and if only 10% of them, or 20 or 30, it ought to be 50 or more percent of them actually enjoyed the channel and the message and the content. If they only, each of those people, would pledge $1 to these Patreon channels, some of these guys could do a lot more of it. Okay? Some of them could support their endeavors a lot better. Some of them are looking to change their lives, to get out of the system. They're trying to do it by presenting content on both YouTube and Patreon. If you believe in it, support it. That's what you can do, and it only costs you $1 a month. I see people out there, and I've gotten comments myself from people say, "I just can't, I just can't, afford $1 a month." And who was it that I heard? So I think it was Joe Fox. Said, if you can't afford $1 a month, you shouldn't be watching this thing. You ought to be out along the highway picking up tin cans, aluminum cans. And that's exactly right. I like most people out here who are putting out content, I do not care to hear or even be subscribed to by people who all they want to do is sit around and bellyache and whine and complain about how they can't afford this and they can't afford that. You can't afford it because you're not doing anything with your life. And I'm sure that I'm going to get a couple of comments on that. You don't know my life. It's horrible. I'm this and I'm that. Okay. Well, you find the time to criticize me and these other content creators when we say, hey, how about a little support, right? You've got that in you. Maybe you could find something in you to go out there and better your life, because I don't want to hear it. Okay, the cost of freedom. The cost of freedom is doing everything you can to preserve it and promote it. Does that make sense? Everything you can. Everything you can. That means every single thing you are able to preserve it. That means keeping it from flying away, and promote it. Okay. These are opportunities. So I just want to echo Patriot Nurse and her saying, support these creators. This is what you can do. You spend thousands of dollars a year supporting companies that hate you, that are working to take away your rights. Everything from the food you eat, to the gas you buy, to the cars you buy, to everything, the clothes you wear. You spend thousands of dollars every year supporting companies and groups who are working against you. Do a little bit. And start supporting the people who are trying to fight the fight. Because that is the cost of freedom. And if you're not willing to pay that cost, you don't deserve to participate in it. Is that straight enough? Okay. Well, again, for those of you who have lasted this long, and for new people who have lasted this long, welcome. We hope that you'll be a part of us here. Contribute in the comments. If you want to contribute by joining Patreon, that's great too. Okay? But be a part of this. And think about how you are promoting freedom in your own life. What cost are you bearing? Because like I said, if you don't bear the cost, you don't deserve the benefits. Okay, I'll let it go with that. And remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And we're preparing well today by paying the cost for the freedom we want to continue to enjoy or that we want to regain. Okay, You all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.